Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so today we are going to learn the buffer system and the different kinds of which comes under the non-covalent bonding. Okay, so I told you what is mean by the buffer in your first practical. So remember the definition of buffer. Buffer means it is a solution which resists the change in pH upon addition of the acid or bases. Okay, which resist the change in pH means what? If you add the H plus ion into that solution, or if you remove H plus ion from that solution, then there is a no change in the pH of that solution. Okay, means pH of that solution remain constant when you add the H plus ions or when you remove the H plus ions. Okay, so that type of solution is known as the buffer system. Okay, yes. One minute. Okay, so this is a typically mixture of weak acid and the salt of its conjugate base. Okay, there is only one combination is there for buffer: acid and its conjugate base. Either it is weak acid or it is strong acid. Okay, if there is a strong acid, then its conjugate weak base, and if there is a weak acid, then its conjugate strong base. Okay, this is a mixture of weak acid and a salt of its get strong base. Okay, types of buffer. So basically there are the two types of the buffer: acidic buffer and basic buffer. Okay, so what is mean by the acidic buffer or what is mean by the basic buffer? Acidic buffer means solution of a mixture of weak acid and the salt of the weak acid with a strong base. Okay, this is known as the acidic buffer. For example, weak acid, acetic acid, CH3COOH. Okay, and its salt. What is its salt? CH3COONA. Na means sodium. Okay, means sodium acetate. Right. Means acidic buffer means what? It is a solution of weak acid and the salt of that weak acid with the strong base. Okay, yes. And basic buffer means what? A solution of weak base and salt of that weak base with a strong acid, means it's a vice versa. Okay, if you take the weak base NH4OH, then salt NH4Cl. Okay, there are the two types of the buffer system: acidic buffer and basic buffer. Means what? It is an acid and its conjugate base. Acid and acid salt plus its conjugate base. This mixture compile when we compile this mixture, then we can call it as a buffer system. Then how this buffer work? I told you that in that buffer, if you add the H plus ion or if you remove the H plus ion, then what happened? then there is a no change in the pH. Okay, in the definition there is a term that resist the change in pH. Resist means oppose. Okay, means there is a no change in pH is occurs by addition of the acids or bases. So how it is done, how the buffer work? Okay, so this is actually a equilibrium between the acid and bases. Okay, for example, acetate buffer. Okay, acetate buffer, when this acetic acid CH3COOH, it is an acetic acid. When this acetic acid dissolve in the aqueous system, then what happened? The complete association of this occurs. Means CH3COO minus plus H plus ion. This dissociation is occurs, either it is complete or not complete. This is not our concern right now. Okay, but dissociation or ionization of this is occurs. Okay, and if you add H plus ion into the solution, then what happened? It shift that equilibrium to the left hand side and absorb the H plus ion, so that what happened? The H plus remain unchanged, right? If you add H plus ion into that buffer, then what happened? It simply shifts the equilibrium to the left hand side, and at the left hand side what happened? CH3COO minus, it absorbs the H plus ion. Okay, so that the concentration of H plus ion remain unchanged. Okay, that's why the pH remains safe. H plus ion is removed. Okay, if you remove the H plus ions or you add the OH minus ion, then what happens? Equilibrium shifts to the right hand side. And what happened when you shift the equilibrium to the right hand side? It releases the H plus ions to keep your pH level constant. Okay, means what? If you remove H plus ion, then what happened? This equilibrium shifts to the right hand side by releasing the H plus ion, so that the pH remain always constant. Okay, means see this reaction, acetic acid CH3COOH, there is a reversible reaction, right? CH3COO minus plus H plus, reversible reaction sign is there. Okay, so this equilibrium is maintained by the addition or removal of the H plus ions or the OH minus ions. This is the basic function of the buffer. Okay, this resist or oppose the change in pH upon addition of acids and the buffer. Yes, to explain this equation, there are the two scientists, Henderson and Hasselbalch. They work on this concept and they developed one equation which is very important to calculate the pH value or the pKa value. Okay, so the scientist Henderson wrote an equation in 1908, describing the use of carbonic acid as a buffer solution. And the second scientist, Albert Hasselbalch, later he re-expressed that formula in a logarithmic terms, which results in the Henderson's and Hasselbalch equation. So this is this equation. Remember the thing, pH is equals to pKa plus log of proton acceptor by proton donor. Now what is meant by proton acceptor? Acid or base?
Base.
Acid.
Base.
Base.
Base, right? कौन बोल रहा है acid? Proton donor means acid. Okay, आणि proton acceptor means base, right? So pH is equals to pK plus log of base upon acid. Okay, this is the Henderson's and Hasselbalch equation. This is used to calculate the pH of the buffer system or any component of this. You can calculate the concentration of acid into that buffer by using this formula. You can calculate the proportion or concentration of base into that buffer by using this formula. You can calculate the dissociation ratio by calculating pK value by using this formula. Okay, so the steps by which this formula is evolved that are not important or that are not that much of necessary in your syllabus. So just concentrate on the formula that pH is equals to pK plus log of base upon acid. Okay, yes. And what is mean by the pKa value? Okay, this term is new for you. So Ka, okay, that capital A and small, sorry, capital K and small a. Ka means what? It is a dissociation constant. Okay, I told you in a previous lecture that you, if you take any type of the acid and you dissolve that acid into the aqueous system, then what happened? That acid particle get dissociate from each other or ionized from, or it will get ionized. Means what? If you add the HCl into the aqueous solution, then what happened in aqueous solution? H plus ions will get separated and Cl minus ions will get separated. That means there is a dissociation is occurs, ionization of that acid molecule is occurs. Okay, so there is a particular dissociation constant or ionization constant. So that dissociation constant in a scientific term, it is known as capital K small a, Ka. Okay, and what is mean by the pKa? pKa means negative log of dissociation constant. pKa means what? Negative log of dissociation constant, means negative log of Ka is equals to pKa. अंडरस्टूड? pKa व्हॅल्यू म्हणजे काय आहे, कळलं का? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Only one student understand, another student don't understand the concept. Yes, if you have a problem then ask me. Have you understand what is mean by pKa?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Means negative log of A. It is a scientific term which explains the dissociation constant ratio of the acids and the bases. Okay, so what is the Henderson's and Hasselbalch equation? pH is equals to pKa plus log of base upon acid. Yes, the greater the buffer capacity, the less the pH change upon addition of H plus and OH minus. So this is the important thing. Okay, means what? If that pKa value is less, okay, if that pKa value is less, that means your buffer is strong. Okay, there is a reciprocal relationship between the pKa value and the capacity of buffer. Okay, if your pKa value is lower, then your buffer capacity is higher or greatest, or your buffer should be called as a strong buffer. Okay, that buffer should be made up of from the strong acid. If you get the pKa value lower, then you can say that your buffer system is stronger. And if you get your pKa value higher, then your buffer system is not stronger. Okay, means your buffer is weak buffer, means there is a capacity of that buffer is very low. Okay, means what? Buffer capacity is low means what? It cannot resist the change in pH that much. Okay, if there is a weak buffer and if you add the H plus ions, then that equilibrium cannot be maintained, right? So remember this thing, that in the pK value and buffer capacity there is a inversely proportional relationship. That means if your pK value lowers, then your buffer capacity is greater, or your buffer system is strong. And if your pK value is greater, then your buffer system is not that much of strong. Okay, so pK is means pH means you can call it as a pK1 plus pK2 divided by 2. Okay, this is the midpoint. pH is the midpoint of the two pK value. Okay, there are the two dissociation constant for any acid. So by adding this two pK value and dividing by 2, you will get the pH value of your buffer system. Okay, you have to choose a buffer whose pK is closest to the desired pH value. Okay, and the pH should be within the pK value. Okay, means only plus or minus 1. That much of difference is sufficient, but you have to choose a buffer system whose pK value which is very near to the pH of that buffer. That is the standard buffer we are going to use. Okay, this is all about the buffer system. Now we'll go for the some bond system or some interaction system. So whatever the bond systems which are mentioned in your syllabus, like the hydrophobic bond, electrostatic bond, van der Waals bond, and the hydrogen bonds. Okay, these four bonds, these are the non-covalent bond. Okay, there is a two types, that is the covalent bond and non-covalent interaction. So whatever the terms or whatever the bond system given in your syllabus, it comes under the non-covalent bond interactions or yes, and there is a one more example, electromagnetic interaction. Okay, so actually the basic chemistry of this all the bonds are not necessary to get means it is not mentioned in your syllabus. Just you have to overview this bond system. Okay, means what is electromagnetic interaction, what is van der Waals bond, and then what is hydrogen bond. What is hydrogen bond, I already told you in a last lecture when I taught you water structure. Okay, I told you at that time what is mean by the hydrogen bond and what is its dissociation energy. Okay, and all those things. Yes, there is a difference between covalent bond and the non-covalent bond. Covalent bond is the strongest bond. Okay. Yes. Then there are some biochemical significance of the van der Waals interactions, like these bonds means all these non-covalent bond, there is a one property that these all non-covalent bonds, they are individually very weak. Okay, but collectively they can give a strong result, right? Individually each bond system or each interaction system, it is very weak interaction, but when you collect this all the types of the bonding with each other, then it is strong bond. Okay, yes, these are weak individually, you can easily break that bond and you can easily reverse that bonding system. It is very universal, means it occurs between the any two atoms that are near to each other, so it is universal. Okay, it can be occur in any two atoms which are near to each other in their physical distance, right? Importance, it determines the steric complementarity. Okay, means steric hindrances. Have you heard about these steric hindrances? Steric hindrances means in their structure or in the formation of their structure there is some hindrances. Hindrances means there is some issue or problem due to their structure, they cannot move 360 degree. It is called as steric hindrances. But this all types of the non-covalent interaction, they determine the steric complementarity which with each other. Okay, then it stabilizes the biological macromolecule. These forces or these interactions are very important in biological macromolecule like the DNA, RNA, proteins. Okay, these types of the interactions are present in their structures. It facilitates the binding of polarizable ligands. Okay, means there is a something, suppose for example there is a one ligand which is polarizable. Okay, that polarizable ligand can binds to that interactions. Okay, or it facilitate or it helps to increase these types of the interactions. Yes, significance of non-covalent interactions. In the aqueous environment, each non-covalent bond is 30 to 300 times weaker than the covalent bond. Yes, these non-covalent interactions are weaker. Unlike a single covalent bond, non-covalent bond interactions are too weak to withstand the thermal motion that tends to pull the molecule apart. Okay, and the large number of non-covalent bonds are needed to hold the two molecular surfaces together. Means what? Okay, if you have a two molecules or if you have a two atoms, and in that two atoms there is a non-covalent bonding, any type of the non-covalent bonding, then it is this bond is very weak. Okay, if you pull that molecule, if you pull that atom in a opposite direction, then that bond can be easily break. Okay, but if there are the many atoms in a line which are joined by this weak bond, and if you pull that molecule, then there is a something difficulty in the separation or in the breaking of that bond. Means what this sentence state? This sentence state that individually this bond is weak and collectively these bonds are strong. Yes. Then large number of non-covalent bond can form between the two surfaces only when the large number of atoms on the surfaces are precisely matched to each other. Yes. Means this bonding is happen when there is a large number of atoms are present which are resemble to each other. Okay. Yes, which accounts for the specificity of biological recognition such as occurs in between the enzymes and substrate. Means if there is a two molecules which are complementary to each other, enzymes and their substrate, you know very well that these both are complementary to each other. Okay, then in that case when substrate comes to the enzyme, it binds what you said, that substrate comes and binds to the active site of the enzyme, right? Then how it binds, or how it settle into that active site? It settles or it binds with the help of this non-covalent interaction. Understood? This binding of substrate to the enzyme at the active site, it is done by the non-covalent interaction. Okay, these are the examples of the non-covalent interactions. First is the electrostatic interaction. In the electrostatic interaction, there are the three types of the bonding: ionic bonding, hydrogen bonding, halogen bonding. Hydrogen bonding I already told you about it. Okay, then van der Waals forces. In van der Waals forces, there are three types of the forces. Means dipole attraction, then dipole induced dipole attraction, then London dispersion forces. There is a no need to go in too deep study of this. Just remember the what is the basic things of the non-covalent bond. That is enough for you. Okay, then pi effect. Pi effect means pi interactions is there, cation pi and anion pi is interaction is there, then polar pi is there, and hydrophobic effect. Hydrophobic effect means what? Hydrophobic effect means you have to just remember the examples of lipid and water. Okay, lipid means what? Okay, just remember the example of oil and water or ghee. Okay, ghee and water. if you add the drops of oil into the water, then what happened? Either that oil is dissolved in the water or not. Tell me. Yes. When you add oil into the water, that what happened?
Oil floats.
Yes, oil floats onto the water. Oil cannot dissolve on in that aqueous system. So this is nothing but the hydrophobic interaction. Means that molecule, it repels the water molecule away from that. Okay, this is known as the hydrophobic interaction. Then ionic interaction means attraction in the ions. Okay, in their name only, ionic means what? Attraction in the ions. Yes, ions means positive charge ions and negative charge ions. Okay, if there are the positively charged ion and negatively charged ion which is very close to each other, physical distance is very less, then what type of the bonding is there? Ionic bonding will happen in that positive and negatively charged ion. This is known as ionic bonding. Hydrogen bonding means what? Hydrogen bonding means there is a dipole-dipole attraction. I told you. Here the same example is mentioned. Water, H2O, H2O. Hydrogen bonding is shown. Delta minus dipole and H having the delta plus dipole. So there is an attraction between delta minus delta plus. So this is the dipole-dipole interaction, right? And and it creates the hydrogen bonding. Yes, hydrogen bonding with the electronegative atom. So here, what is the electronegative atom? I told you in previous lecture, oxygen. Oxygen is a more electronegative. Why? Because it attracts the more electron in their vicinity, okay, which is shared by the hydrogen. In the water molecule, hydrogen and the oxygen, they share the pair of electrons with each others, and that shared electron, it is more found in the vicinity of the oxygen. That why oxygen is more electronegative, and due to this is more electronegative, it can attract the more positive ions. It means it can attract the hydrogen of another water molecule, and it creates the hydrogen bonding. This is about hydrogen bonding. Van der Waals forces, these are the subset of electrostatic interactions. Okay, here there is a permanent or induced dipole interaction is there, means the same permanent dipole interaction is there. Yes, or alternatively it is called as the Keesom forces. Okay, and when there is a dipole and induced dipole interaction, then it is called as the Debye forces, right? And when there is a induced dipole and induced dipole interaction, then it is called as the London dispersion forces. Yes, so you need not to go into what is the induced dipole, what is dipole. Just remember these things, that dipole-dipole interaction in the van der Waals, then it is known as Keesom forces. Dipole and induced dipole, then Debye forces, then induced dipole and induced dipole, then the London dispersion forces. Okay. Although the hydrogen bondings and the halogen bondings, both forms of the dipole-dipole interaction, these are typically not classified in the van der Waals forces by the convention. Okay, in hydrogen bonding also there is a dipole interaction is there, but it cannot come under van der Waals forces. Hydrogen bonding is somewhat different thing and van der Waals forces somewhat different thing, but the same concept are followed in both the forces. Yes, this is the dipole means what? Positive and negative attraction, nothing more than that. Okay, dipole means what? Positive and negative attraction, means delta positive delta negative, they attract to each other, which is known as dipole interaction. Yes, here the bond strength is mentioned, right? Bond strength means what? I told you that non-covalent bonding, it is a weak bonding system. Okay, yes, then you can see I have cited one figure here which shows the increasing bond strength. Okay, you can see covalent bond which goes final up to 240 kilocalorie per mole. Okay, so bond strength is more in covalent bond, means you cannot break easily covalent bond. But the non-covalent bond, there is a bond strength is very low. 0.24 to 2.4 kilocalorie mole per mole. This much of the strength of the non-covalent interactions. Okay, so you can easily break that bond by just pulling the molecule apart or by just giving the thermal energy or any kind of the things. Okay, you can break that bond easily, but you cannot break the covalent bond. Why? Because the strength of that bond is very high. Yes, the examples of hydrogen bonding, means hydrogen bonding, it is happen in water also with the polar molecule. Polar molecule means what? Or hydrophilic molecule means what? The molecule which loves the water. Hydrophilic, hydro means water, philic means loving, means water loving molecule, means polar molecule. Okay, obviously the hydrophilic means water loving, they want to share a bond with the water. Okay, so polar molecule or hydrophobic molecule, hydrophilic molecule, they forms the hydrogen bond with the water by the same thing, dipole dipole attraction. Okay, some examples are cited here. Yes, then this is a van der Waal interaction that shows in van der Waal also the same thing is there. Three types of the interaction: dipole dipole interaction, induced dipole and dipole interaction, and induced dipole and induced dipole interaction. The same thing is given, means positive negative attraction. Remember the same things. Okay, this is all about the non covalent bonding system and the buffer system. Anyone has any doubt?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay.